The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT Magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors. Coming up on BCIT Magazine, how the UBC Hope Club is helping students.
Why food catering is faring well.
And watch some kids kicking stress.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Katarina Szulc.
And I'm Robert Holden.
With more people working from home, a part of their vehicles has become a prime target for thieves. Reporter Jaden Juti has our top story.
Ron Spilett's motorhome was a recent target of catalytic converter theft. Now he plans to up security at his home by taking additional safety measures.
What I'm going to do is mount another motion detector light with a camera up on the chimney. That's up and out of the way so nobody can mess with the light bulbs and turn it out.
According to stats from ICBC, Surrey has seen 194 catalytic converter thefts so far in 2020. That is up from the previous 2 years. The Surrey RCMP say thieves commonly target vehicles that are easy to access.
When this item is stolen from a vehicle, it's a matter of minutes. These people know exactly what they're doing.
Catalytic converters can be sold for upwards of $160 because of the trace amount of platinum they contain. The thieves would have had to use a cordless grinder like this one to cut through the two pipes connecting the catalytic converter. New vehicles are built with the cover under the converter, protecting it from potential theft. Spillett says he is lucky this incident took place in the winter.
At this time of year was that I had to go out, take the motor home in for repair, park it, make sure that it was safe and secure where I was taking it to. Normally, midsummer it would have been a major inconvenience because we do camping. We go away every other weekend.
After a $1,500 repair bill, Spillett's motorhome starts up smoothly again. In the end, Spillett paid a $300 deductible to ICBC, which covered the cost of the repairs. Jaden Juti in Surrey for BCIT Magazine.
Our reporter Jaden Juti joins us now. Jaden, what safety tips are officials recommending?
Katarina, the Surrey RCMP and ICBC suggest you should park in a well-lit area or a garage. They also suggest you should install security cameras on your home and vehicle. Back to you.
Thanks, Jaden.
Some UBC students are struggling with remote classes and final exams just around the corner. My co-anchor Katarina Szulc has more on how one club is hoping to change the narrative.
The campus is empty, but study schedules are full. Quiana Whitaker is one of many students having trouble accessing mental health resources.
A lot of times you call UBC counseling, they're full, or they just don't even answer, or you leave messages and they don't get back to you.
A few students, part of the UBC Hope Club, are aiming to help those who might be struggling.
My club has a lot of different workshops where you can kind of meet other students and interact with them in different ways, whether it be in a learning, like educational setting, or just like in a social, like playing, Among Us with some other university students.
Violet Gunell says, like students, professors have also taken initiative.
Professors are also really trying. I think you have two categories of professors. You have those professors who really understand what we're going through because they're also going through it. I have a prof that will literally do chill office hours where basically it's an hour of her just relaxing and just talking to us about anything. It doesn't have to be school related stuff.
We reached out to UBC for some answers, and they say their training and educational programs aim to support the UBC students, staff, and faculty community with tools and resources to improve mental health.
It's unclear what your insurance covers, And a lot of times they refer you straight to peer counseling rather than a professional counselor right away, and I think that that's intimidating for people.
As for Quiana and her classmates, they hope to get the help before graduating in May. Katarina Szulc in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Many restaurants and bars have suffered severe financial losses during the pandemic, but one corner of the food industry has managed to grow their business. Reporter Dom Valley has the story.
Rochelle Girardin and her private chef and catering service Beyond Nourished were like many other businesses struggling to find their way through the pandemic.
As a business owner is probably one of the scariest times, how to be safe and keep our clients safe, because a lot of the people that we cook for are also immunocompromised. Cancer, lupus, many things.
Girardin's business, which provides holistic private chef services, has actually increased during the pandemic. She thinks it's partly because people were focusing more on their health.
I mean, Bonnie Henry, even at the beginning of this whole pandemic, was talking about how important it is to exercise and eat right. It was one of the first times that I had actually ever heard somebody from, a government that was actually putting the things that make us healthy and make us more susceptible to fighting off disease. And so people are thinking about their health a lot more.
But a lot of businesses in the industry struggled to find the same avenue of success during COVID-19.
So I'd say about 80% of our revenue stream dropped there.
This Boston Pizza manager says they're still feeling the effects in a major way.
It forced us to drop down our staffing levels to pretty much skeleton, which from a manager standpoint has been tough because these are people that work for me, they work hard. I care about them and they got bills to pay, and I'm being forced to cut hours and try and keep everything afloat.
Girardin says another key was keeping calm and keeping their service the same.
If they could feel our panic, we knew that would kind of filter into their experience in working with us. But on the surface, it just kind of looked like we were rolling with it. It was something that we'll probably carry on, through this, because it's definitely not over yet.
Dom Valley in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up after the break, youth hit the court.
And BCIT custodians are cleaning up.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Welcome back to BCIT Magazine. Young basketball players are back on the court under strong safety restrictions. Reporter Miko Cridland tips us off on what it took.
Split Second Basketball is a youth basketball development program based out of Vancouver. The COVID-19 restrictions mandated by BC Public Health has kept many sports programs like these from competing.
Playing since I was 5 years old, and it's been really tough getting back into the work mentality.
But with some help from the BC via Sport Return to Sport guideline, amateur sports programs like these are slowly starting to return.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a dramatic change since COVID. Our first couple months we weren't together at all. Everything we were doing was virtual. We were doing online workouts, Zoom classes. We were sending them workouts on their phone by an app.
With part of the Phase 3 reopenings, they're allowed to return to play with some strict but important measures. Limit the amount of parents and spectators. Determine the number of access and exit points. At the end of the scheduled program, participants must immediately leave the facility.
Yeah, the restrictions that have been placed, but they're there for a reason. It's there to make everyone a little bit safer.
Just getting that attitude that no matter what we're able to do when we're in the gym, we're coming out and competing as hard as we can.
Even with the restrictions, these athletes are just happy to be returning.
We played way less games and just competitive scrimmages. I really miss that.
The VIA Sport Guideline says that sports is an important tool for youth to develop physical, psychological, and emotional skills. Split-second basketball is showing that they can return to play as well as follow health guidelines to keep everyone safe. I'm Miko Cridland in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
The NBA is set to tip off this month as teams report to their training camps. The Toronto Raptors kick off their preseason on December 12th against the Charlotte Hornets.
A Surrey soccer club believes that the game is the perfect stress reliever for youth during these tough times. Reporter Josh Ferrer takes us to the pitch.
The COVID-19 pandemic hasn't stopped North Surrey Football Club from continuing to practice.
We still need our exercise and stuff. Make sure we still keep our skills and just not forget them.
I think everyone is going through a lot of stress right now, parents and their kids. So I think for the girls continuing to still play soccer, it's very important as a stress reliever and just something different from school.
The Heart and Stroke Foundation says organized activities can help you de-stress through exercise and social interactions.
So basically what we're realizing is that during the pandemic, there's a lot of separation. And in order to bring kids together, it's got to be during something that they actually already love. And it does take away that loneliness or that depression side of being apart.
Players couldn't agree more.
I think it's still safe to join and it's lots of fun because since at school you don't get to hang out with your friends that much. So it's a good way to come out and meet new people, but it's still safe.
Coach Kudamabiza is a founder of Aspire Soccer, which offers low-income families or refugee families a chance to put their children in a sport that they love without any fees.
What they get on top of that is being coached by certified coaches who have a huge experience and teaching them the passion that they already have, and that we're just going to put them into an organized sport.
In order to keep practices and games continuing, Coach Morris says that they only play the same 3 teams to reduce interactions with many different players. As COVID-19 tries to stop local soccer from being played, North Surrey FC is still running with the ball. I'm Josh Ferrer in Surrey for BCIT Magazine.
Our reporter Josh Ferrer joins us now. Josh, what are some of the changes that the football club has had to make?
So, Robert, some of the changes they had to make was that they're not allowed to have bags or equipment in the bench area. And instead of high-fiving the other team after the game, teams are now encouraged to do a team cheer instead. Back to you.
Thanks, Josh.
While many BCIT students are learning from home, work is continuing on campus to improve their experience for when they return. Reporter Aaron Rempel checks it out.
For now, this looks like dusty scaffolding, but in the new year, this lecture space will be improved to look like this concept. John Coombs with his crew are working hard on it.
Overall, the project's going well. We've got substantial completion is what we're looking for is February 11th.
On top of new projectors, like these in SW5, students will welcome more ways to charge their devices when they return to the theater.
We've got some new chairs going in, and in those chairs are actually going to have power in the chairs for students to plug in their laptops.
With painting starting up soon, the vision for the space is coming together.
I hope that when they come in, that they feel more comfortable here, and that the amenities and systems that are put in facilitate their learning experience.
Even so, the site only allows 5 workers a day due to COVID regulations. From an architectural perspective, these renovations will make the theater similar in feel to this theater in building SW1.
Acoustics in the theater in the past were poor, and the AV was limiting. So those are some major upgrades that are happening.
An improved screen setup will mean that the space will be used for more than just lectures.
So that'll really improve the quality of the space, allow for different pedagogies of teaching for academic lectures or sort of more interactive learning.
Students definitely have their own views on the improvements to the SC6 theater.
I think
it's really good that they're changing the lighting of the SE6 and like they're changing the infrastructure, because I used to have like some of the classes in there, so I really didn't appreciate the lighting.
At this stage for the campus development team, the slight delays in the project due to permits do not outweigh the positives for students. For BCIT Magazine on Burnaby campus, I'm Aaron Rempel.
Multiple COVID-19 vaccines are now in production from pharmaceutical companies Pfizer and Moderna. Canada is reportedly in the top 5 of countries to get the vaccine first.
Cleaning staff at BCIT's Burnaby campus say they're feeling overstressed with the recent rise in COVID-19 cases. Reporter Darren Piper sweeps up the details.
Cleaning crews at BCIT's Burnaby campus are feeling more anxious as cases of COVID-19 have been rising. Many of the hallways are empty as most students and staff work from home, but some attend in person, which means cleaning staff and their supervisors have their hands full.
Yeah, you could feel some of the stress, especially once you get up to the management, supervisor management levels, that the pressure's on. We're getting bombarded from different groups for different reasons.
DeLuca claims there have been challenges keeping up with supplies of hand sanitizer and soap, and he worries the COVID risk may be keeping some cleaners away from work.
The custodians are getting not the highest paid. It's almost better for them to stay at home and collect unemployment if they could. So staff has been a little bit of an issue, and supplies are the two main ones.
There are roughly 70 custodians working at the Burnaby campus on contract with a company called Best Service Pros. A manager at the company says most workers feel safe due to strict protocols in place, but admits some have felt uneasy with the recent surge in COVID cases.
In the last couple of weeks, ever since this new wave that's come up, there's been some stress level, but not from a best perspective. It's more just because there's a lot more. They feel like there's a lot more people getting infected out there.
Although the pandemic is far from over, Arianda applauds BCIT for doing all it can to ensure the health and safety of his cleaning crews, as well as BCIT staff and students alike. Darren Piper in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up, feeding those in need.
And helping seniors celebrate Christmas.
Going live in 3, 2, 1. BCIT Television and Video Production. You've got potential.
Hi, I'm Zach Kiedaisch.
And I'm Justin Waddell, and this is your community calendar for December 3rd.
You may think there isn't a lot going on this holiday season, and you're partially correct.
But here are a few things that you can still do with your family with some social distancing and masks.
Now let's get straight into it.
Check out Santa's Christmas Ships 2020, where boat owners are planning on dressing up and decorating their boats for night cruises to the North Shore. They'll be heading to destinations like Belcara Bay, Rocky Point, and Dollarton. Be sure to check out all the details on Facebook.
Are you tired of being stuck inside your own house? Do you want to support local businesses while practicing safe physical distancing? Well, go no further than the Port Moody Winter Farmers Market at the Port Moody Recreation Center every Sunday. They have live music, food trucks, and specialty coffees, along with the awesome produce you've come to expect.
If you're looking for a way to really chill out on January 1st next year, why not do the Polar Bear Swim to celebrate the new year? I'm personally thinking about jumping into Guichon Creek right now, but I don't know, there's ducks. I don't think that's a very good idea.
I'm Justin Waddell.
And I'm Zach Kiedaisch.
And this has been your community calendar for December 3rd. And whatever you choose to do this holiday season, just stay safe.
Happy holidays.
Welcome back to BCIT Magazine. Many families are forced to rely on food banks during the holiday season. Reporter Ty Ali sets the table on how the pandemic has made things even worse.
In an East Vancouver parking garage, the City Reach Care Society has set up a food bank through their Food for Families endeavor for vulnerable families, individuals, seniors, and anyone in need. A nonprofit organization, City Reach Care Society is funded by the Tri-City Homelessness Task Force. Kim Gerbrandt, a Food for Families volunteer, explains how City Reach Care Society has been working through the pandemic.
We used to give out about 100 hampers a week, and now we're over 800 hampers a week that we give out to over 800 families, actually.
A sign-up sheet led by Gerbrandt at the entrance of the garage is where people give their ID and get verified. Once they checked in, they spoke to the volunteers to collect fresh food for themselves and their families. All food banks associated with the Tri-City Homelessness Task Force are nonprofit and government agencies, businesses, and citizens concerned about homelessness and housing affordability in the Tri-Cities.
And the table is comprised of all levels of government, the service agencies, bylaws, CP Rail, police, fire, RCMP, anyone that has anything to do with the homeless, helping homeless, whether it's through housing or services.
CREER's goal, along with the task force, is to take care of those living on the streets in any way that they can. Gerbrandt explains that she's been volunteering for over 3 years and loves doing it.
It's been really amazing that the need has increased. I mean, that's not a good thing, but as the need has increased and more families need food, more food donations have been coming in.
With the correct safety measures, COVID-19 can be avoided and families can be provided with food throughout the pandemic and upcoming winter season. Ty Ali in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Granville Island usually attracts over 1 million visitors every year, but the pandemic has taken a huge toll on tourism. My co-anchor, Robert Holden, tells us what you can do to help.
Jack Darkus has owned Darkus Studio Gallery on Granville Island since 2000, but his 20th year in business has been a tough one.
Oh, it's very different. I haven't sold a painting in a year. I've learned over the years that if I finish something, eventually, mysteriously, it sells to somebody.
His business has taken a big hit from COVID-19. Granville Island's art galleries rely on foot traffic to stay afloat. Without cruise ships or wine tours, Karen Cooper's gallery is listing.
We've lost at least 70% of our customers. Walk-by customers, we've lost at least 90%. The people that used to be coming here are gone.
The island reported $14 million in revenue for 2018, but according to a survey conducted in summer 2020, 55% of businesses have laid off staff and 65% of businesses have closed.
Don't forget, this island was the second largest tourist destination after Niagara Falls.
The massive loss of visitors begs the question, are any businesses seeing stability during this time?
Unless you're Lee's Donuts.
There is a way for the public to help. BC Buy Local Week is on now till December 6th. This celebration helps showcase locally owned businesses and aims to keep money circulating in the community.
The big thing is to get local people to know that Granville Island is an island full of unique and different artists, that you don't have to go to Europe to buy incredible artwork. It's right in Vancouver.
Artists are continuing to prepare as the Christmas season approaches. Many hope the new year will bring a vaccine and with it a new chapter for Granville Island. Robert Holden in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Vancouver City Council is discussing the possibility of hosting the 2030 Winter Olympics. Mayor Kennedy Stewart is asking Indigenous leaders to give their approval before the city puts a formal bid together.
Have you got your Christmas tree yet? It's the time of year when people normally flock to their local tree farm. But with COVID-19, this Yule has some new rules. Reporter Cam Lewis takes a look.
It's time for families to start getting the house ready for the holidays. That means tree lots like Z&Z Christmas Trees in Richmond have started business for the upcoming season. Things will look a little different this year as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to threaten the public. For some visitors, like Jacob Braun, COVID-19 won't be getting in the way of their holiday traditions.
We're still going to have Christmas, and we're going to take it very cool, I understand. It'll depend a little bit on the COVID-19 and what Dr. Bonnie says.
Tree lots will have to follow BC government COVID safety guidelines to stay open for the holidays. Visitors will have to wear masks and social distance while browsing for a tree.
Wear a mask, stay apart, find your thing, and don't get into a crowd, not even at Christmas time.
Occupancy limits will also be in effect due to the limit of people at one time. One employee explains the changes they're expected to see.
This year, we haven't experienced as much traffic as we've had the previous years. We believe this is due to COVID-19 and people would just rather stay at home or buy artificial trees online this year.
Christmas tree sales will see a change this season as some have implemented online ordering and delivery services. Others are heading out to get their tree early in order to avoid the crowds.
I'm just looking for a specific small tree, which is what I picked up for $10. And I thought it was very nice here. You could really social distance as far as the COVID.
Usual customers may resort to buying a fake tree or ordering online to avoid the spread of COVID-19.
Customers would purchase the trees online, pre-order it, and then they would come here, pick it up.
Lots will remain open until December 24th and are counting on the public to be safe while shopping for a tree. I'm Cam Lewis for BCIT.
The holiday season can be challenging and isolating for some older people, especially during the pandemic. Reporter Sam Serralio tells us how you can be Santa for a senior.
Before COVID-19, 74-year-old Edie Sparks would spend the holidays surrounded by her family.
Because we had a group that was very close-knit, we could get together and we could enjoy it. But you can't do that now.
But now, Sparks, along with many other seniors in care homes, spend the holidays alone.
We're all at the stage of, will it ever end? And the other thing is, you know, what happens if I get sick?
Many charities this season are created to help those struggling in the pandemic, and one campaign will allow seniors to feel more connected this holiday season.
They really want to make sure that the seniors who are not getting visits from their loved ones this year at least get a good present under the tree.
Stocking stuffers for seniors allow people to go to their local London Drugs and receive a tag that includes a senior's Christmas list.
The trees, you know, are full of tags, and sometimes they get a little thin, but we add more as we can. And you basically pick the tag that you like, go around and shop for the item.
The campaign is important for seniors this year, as many are kept away from their families and are forced to spend the holiday alone. Spark says it feels nice to be thought about after feeling disconnected for so long.
And anything at all that would cheer people up. There's just so many empty spaces and so many people who are alone.
As COVID-19 spreads into the holiday season, it's a simple gift like this that could leave our seniors less lonely this year. Sam Serralio in Langley for BCIT Magazine.
That was our final BCIT Magazine for 2020. I'm Robert Holden.
And I'm Katarina Szulc. Thanks for watching.